How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Goya Foods CEO Bobby Nonaway giving an honorary Employee of the Month award to AOC, aka Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Now, before we go on any further, I got to back up a little bit here to explain to you what's going on, just so we're on the same page with each other. Now, remember back in July, I did a video about this situation. Bobby Nonaway went to the White House and spoke for about 3 minutes. It wasn't a long speech. It wasn't this whole big long thing. It was a very short talk. But in that talk, he just gave the president some praise. He was like, well, we're blessed to have a president like him. That's all he was saying, nothing really major. And I think he had been to the White House during the Obama years and said a similar thing about Barack Obama. He's just respecting the president, and he was just telling the truth about President Trump. So for that, people like AOC and a bunch of other far leftists and just regular leftist normies, they got triggered. I'm talking about super triggered, butthurt, upset. There was a video floating around of angry Puerto Ricans and other Hispanic people throwing their Goya products away. It was this whole big thing. Because if you don't know, Goya food is like the go-to item when you're talking about Hispanic food. When I was in Virginia, you go to Food Lion, you have an Hispanic food section, and it's just Goya everywhere. I never understood. It's like, okay, you got Goya black beans. Like, everything in the Hispanic food section is pretty much Goya. So they dominate that market. So, to have Trump get praise from the CEO rubbed some people the wrong way. All right. And AOC was one of them. When she saw that clip or the little quote from Bobby Nonaway, she was like, oh, I'm going to Google my own way to make adobo. All right. Basically saying we're canceling Goya. But the opposite result of what she intended or what she most likely intended happened. Now, if you ask AOC, she did not call for a boycott. All she was doing was Googling the recipe. But when you say something like that as number one member of the House, you're an elected official. But number two, an Hispanic. Number three, very popular. When you say something like, oh, I'm making my own adobo after the Goya CEO is in the White House giving the president some praise, basically you saying I'm canceling Goya, boycott Goya. I'm not going to buy any more Goya. You shouldn't either. Although she didn't say that explicitly, by her saying what she did say, that's kind of a way to try and cancel him. But like I was saying earlier, the very opposite of what she may have intended happened, and the sales blew up. It was a marketing ploy for Goya, really. I mean, I'm not sure if it was intended that way as far as having the CEO go to the White House, because like I said, he had gone to the White House before under Barack Obama. So he was invited. I forget what the actual event was. If you guys know what the event he was at the White House for was earlier in this year, back in July, let me know in the comments. I'm not really sure why he was there, but he was there, gave the president a couple of nice words. People got really triggered. But it had the opposite effect. So Goya's like, look, you deserve the Employee of the Month. Because right when she said that, this is during the virus time, and it was a bunch of food shortages, and they were able to donate a lot of food. And her kind of unintentional marketing probably helped them cover the cost of their philanthropy. So it wasn't even a real big expense for them. They could just do that. The money that they got in surplus from her promoting them, they can just donate right back to the people. So it was a really good thing overall. And shout out to them for being cool about it, and also for not caving to the mob. Because the mob was out there, the talking heads on television. How could you support Trump? How could you all this, that, and the third? They didn't bow to it. They stood up to the mob. And they continue to do good work, put out good food, and that's what it is. And the CEO of Goya, Bobby Nonaway, made his comments about AOC on the Michael Berry show. I'll link to the audio of that in the description box. But he also had one more quote for AOC, and I'll place that on the screen before you. It reads, "Communism works until you run out of other people's money to spend." It's interesting that AOC was one of the first people stepping in line to boycott Goya, go against her own people, as supposedly a Puerto Rican woman to go against people of her own Latin culture. She's naive. To some extent, I can understand AOC. She's young. She's naive. she doesn't get it. So I like that. Not only do you have the CEO of Goya standing up against the mob, but he's actively speaking against them. Not just, okay, we're going to put the food out, we're going to go to the White House. It's not just that, just kind of an unspoken thing. I'm speaking out against communism, all right? You should know better. And speaking directly to AOC, not being scared of AOC, because some guys in the business are afraid of AOC because she's a very popular person, has some power literally by being in government, in the federal government. So they're scared, but Goya's not scared. And obviously, their core base of people, the Latin community, Hispanic culture, it didn't waver. Even if it did, it wasn't enough to make a difference. And the people that they gained on, maybe they're Hispanic, maybe they're not, that was more than enough to build their brand, to promote their brand, to make their brand skyrocket. You got these people on the left trying to attack Goya, trying to attack anybody that wants to say something nice about Trump. A lot of times it has the opposite effect of what they want. This whole cancel culture thing, I think it's coming to an end. I think so, because people are getting tired of it. It's less effective when everything is a cancelable offense, when everything triggers somebody, when everything is so offensive. It just becomes kind of a joke, kind of a meme at this particular point. Oh, I'm offended. Everything is offensive. And now people are just not even taking it seriously. It's like the boy who cried wolf. All right. If the wolf is there and he's tearing your hind parts apart, limb from limb, then you could go ahead and cry and get some assistance. But every time you say something, it's pretty much nothing. You say it's a whole big giant wolf or bear, some kind of griffin, a gargoyle or whatever. Meanwhile, it's an itsy bitsy spider. It's like, okay, what are we doing here? You caught me for nothing. And every time you say something like that, oh, here comes this big monster in my bedroom. It's laying on my chest and there's nothing there. People are going to stop believing you and it's going to become a joke. And I think that could be what's going on with the far left people that AOC and others represent. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that AOC's remarks about Goya really helped the brand rather than hurt the brand? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Do you think she intentionally tried to hurt them? If that's your viewpoint, let me know in the comments. Like I said, she was saying, oh, it wasn't a boycott because she was being called out for the boycott failing and having the opposite result. Oh, it wasn't a boycott. I was just saying I'm Googling my own recipe. It's like, come on, let's stop playing. Now, that's something else right there. These politicians and even some of these newbie, normie politicians, they try to use language they think we don't understand. They try to say things they think we're not hip to. It's gaslighting stuff. It's like, we see what you're doing. You're not doing anything slick. You're not doing anything new. We know what's going on here. Don't try to play us. Don't try to play these games. We see what's going on, all right? And it's not working. Your attempt to try and cancel businesses because they happen to say something nice about Trump is not going to work. And these people, at a certain point, if they try to get their communism in place, if they're at all successful in any way, shape, or form, whether it be on a small level, a city level, if they're successful, they're going to be the main ones complaining about it when it's all said and done. They'll be the main ones crying to go back to reality, to go back to how things were. But it's like, nah, you got what you wanted now, don't you? You got your communism. You got your socialism. You made your bed. Now you got to lie in it. Don't come to us talking about, oh, you want to escape now. And you know what? As I close for real this time, to a certain extent, that's happening right now anyway. These lefties from these places that they ruined, like California, Illinois, Chicago specifically, New York, etc., they've ruined those places to a certain extent, especially over on the left coast, California, LA, San Francisco. They've ruined those places. Now they want to come over here, down here to the south. It's like, wait a minute. If you want to come here, you got to check your crazy politics at the door. Don't bring your same nonsense that does not work from there over here and ruin this too. Abandon your beliefs. Obviously, it's not really working. The communism ain't working. Cancel culture ain't working. Whatever you got going on, these crazy leftist ideas, they have been tried and tried and tried and failed and failed and failed. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.